Welcome back. It is fabulous to have you here because we are trying to make a Damascus barrel with my name written all over it. We've got a ton of letters to make. In the last episode, we forged out all of this historic castle-wrought iron. We assembled our first 5 kilograms of E. We got a lot more to go, but let's get it forge welded. We're tightening it all up. Make sure no air gets there. This is a tricky forge weld. It looks simple, but the consequences of something going wrong are quite massive. You can see the letter E is nicely visible. That is bloody good. What's not good is that that bar has a rhombus on it. That is exactly what I feared. It is no longer square. It's tipping over this way. These two angles are getting more acute. These two angles are getting more obtuse. And the trouble is that means that every bond that we've just created in there is starting to slip and slide and shear against itself. And this is a great way to ruin your Damascus billet. Not only that, but when you consider the fact that we are making big letters that are going to become small letters, and I mean really small. This billet is now almost 3 inches tall, and when we forge this letter E into the final helically wrapped and forge welded barrel tube, that letter E, when we compare it to the historic barrels that we're trying to recreate, it's probably only going to be 2 millimeters tall. And so, if I don't have it perfect now, it's going to completely ruin the final letter, and all this will have been for nothing. So clean, precise, square, and neat forging is the name of the game today. There is no room for error. I think we've fixed the rhombus. Ow! Damn it, it's still fairly rhombus. Yeah, it's not ideal, not perfect. You know, these things are an endless tail chase. It feels like I've been fighting rhombuses my whole life. So we'll have to constantly keep hitting that long diagonal to clean it up as we go. Hopefully that pattern stays as crisp as possible regardless. But anyway, I'm gonna leave that at that size. I'm not going to bring it down to our final dimensions. Now, while that's cooling down, have a listen to this YouTube comment I got the other day. I'm starting to get the feeling Alec's YouTube channel is actually a thinly disguised cover for his love of collecting workshop gadgets. Thinly disguised? Collecting workshop gadgets is my life mission. But I recently decided that I needed like a more permanent place to showcase these gadgets and recount a little bit the history between me and those tools. A place where you could go and find out what's the kit I'm using. For example, this plasma table, given to me by these lovely folks. When we've been given kit to use in the workshop, it only makes sense for that company to do it if people can find out whose equipment it is. And so I've now added a tools and equipment page to my website so that you can go and find out what MIG welder am I using and quickly access any of the discount codes from any of our regular sponsors. And of course, this is on my website, which is built on our sponsor's platform, Squarespace. It means that this whole rigmarole is a piece of cake. They've got countless drag and drop themes. You don't need to know how to code. You can sell unlimited physical or digital products, run your email marketing campaigns, and sell your time with Squarespace scheduling. It's an all-in-one platform. You can buy your domain there too. If you've been holding off on building a website, thinking, oh no, it's just not my cup of tea, I'm not really a computer person, just give it a try. Go to squarespace.com/forge, get a 2-week free trial there, and then code FORGE at checkout is going to get you 10% off all your Squarespace purchases. We are incredibly grateful for their support. Let's get back to it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to begin working on our second most used letter and repeating twice in my name, that is the letter L. L. Where did that bolt come from? It's fallen off the power hammer somewhere, but I don't know where. It's been about a year since we've had this steam hammer up and running in the workshop. I love it, but you can see why the design of blacksmith's power hammers evolved from this. Because this is basically constantly trying to disassemble itself at high speed. Let's forge weld the L. There's my L. Too batters down, 4 to go. Let's now make the rest of them. I need 2 of these. These are ready for forge welding. But you know that old joke, your mates just put an engine back together and then you find an errant bolt and you put it on the side of their workbench as if they forgot to install it. Well, what is going on here? Something isn't adding up. Remember in the last episode, I said I needed 240 inches. Like a wrought iron Damascus letter calculations, the classes that I missed when I dropped out. What's going on? Hopefully the calculations were wrong and it wasn't the case that indeed all of this material needed to end up in all of these blocks. Because if so, this is going to serve as very unfortunate foreshadowing for the problems that I might encounter in a week. That's a beautiful pile of steel and iron. I think my largest billet of Damascus ever was the Damascus for the regular twist Damascus barrel last month. And this tops that by at least probably 2 or 3 times when it's all said and done. And that actually makes me so happy. It is pretty bloody cool to be able to make a living slapping away on that hammer, being creative, and doing things that I've dreamt of for a long, long time. Got a lot of gratitude for that. Now, since the fire is still warm, I'm gonna put my coin-making die in and bash out a few steel coins. Now the reason is, the moderators of our Discord had a lovely idea to do a little competition in there. In order to celebrate and show off the things that you guys make in your workshops or in your kitchen, wherever you make things. And we're gonna give away some of our steel coins to our favorite submissions. So let's bash some out. I just realized this die is going to expire in a few weeks. These are 2025 coins. I just got a little bit emotional. Is that the last time that I'm ever going to use this die? I think it might be. You'll have to let us know if you want us to do a 2026 coin next year. 21 kilos. That's 45 pounds. Look how funny all these ends look. We can definitely see the E. The other one's really hard to make out. A-L-E-C. Gonna slice off all these ends since they'll be scrap. Okay, so I've made up some kiss blocks. I've done some calculations, and we're gonna forge this whole stack to 17 by 24.5 millimeters. This stuff is going to be getting very small, very fast. Do you remember in the last episode where I said there's going to be 86% wastage on this project? We're about to see why that's the case. This is why making Damascus can be quite a painful experience, because the end of every billet forged out is always bad, and it always needs cutting off. The pattern never forms correctly, and there's often cold shuts, as we can see, so no matter what, it's gotta go. And that's a sizable chunk of our material to remove on every operation. Whoa. All right, topped and tailed. We're now trying to figure out if we can see good letters, or do we need to cut any further? Ever so slightly, when you catch in the light, you can see a little bit. Theoretically, the further in we go to these bars, the closer to the middle, the better the letters should look. So let's give this a test etch. Oh! What? That is epic. The A is good, the C is good, the S is a bit twisted, the T is good. That's not quite there. That L, oh no, the L is good, it's just upside down. Need to cut in deeper on the E, but everything else looks okay. How awesome is that? I'm incredibly impressed with how these letters are looking. I expected way more deformation at the end of the bars. This is a real treat. From what I can see, everything I've got on the table is good material, so we can start cutting. Now, as we know, my name has more E's than any other letter, which is why we've got a longer bar. In case you didn't catch it, the reason our single letter bars, like our A, are not a quarter as long as our longest bar, the E, is because the proportions for forging it out could have led to more distortion than we would have liked. My plan's gonna be as follows. We're gonna cut our E bar into 4, and then we're gonna cut all the other letters to the same length to match up with that. But while we do that, I am gonna light the forge because there is a missing component. My 6-letter last name, Steele, and my 4-letter first name, Alec, got 6 letters on the last name, 4 on the first name. We need the end blocks of wrought iron. So I'll cut another piece off this gorgeous 1800s wrought iron to forge it out from. And to make sure it all matches, I will increase the layer count by stacking it up in 2. That is just so cool. Oh, I love it. Look at the grain in the wrought iron around the letters. And this font, after forging, I love it. Bloody brilliant. Da-da-da-da! It's all coming together. Let's get all these ground up and prepped. Get both billets ready for forge welding. I hope this is 4 kilos. Phew, 4.6 kilos. Here we go, first up, the Alec billet. Now onto the steel billet. Should be nicely preheated. S-T-E-E-L-E. We're getting there. Weeks of work for what's starting to look like 2 small billets. I just split my hammer handle. No! I caught it in one of these holes. Poof! We can at last cut the ends off of these and reveal our Alec billet and our steel billet. Let's see what we got for all this work. Into the ferric chloride. This has just been so much fun. So much bloody fun. Just relentlessly forging out steel and iron. This is what it's about, boys and girls. Oh, yes! Dude, that's my last name, and that's my first name. And how good does the wrought iron look on the sides? You can see the pattern in the wrought. Oh, this means it's now time to make the billet, to actually make our Tex Damascus barrel, hopefully, touch wood, knock on wood. Build yourself a website at squarespace.com/forge. I appreciate you all being here so much. We are absolutely living the dream in this workshop. Bye-bye.